As busy as I am and as much as I despise, and I mean despise the rain, and you know that, I am still heading to the Meadows in the pouring rain. You can hear it and see it in the pouring rain to drive Tanzanite Trick. She's in tough. She's not a walk like I thought she would be, but at the same time, I wanted to drive her. I can't believe I just said that. It's raining. Horrible weather. Should have rethought this. Nevertheless, I will be there to drive our girl Tanzanite today. Now I have to rush back in a hurry, actually, to qualify Hope Surprise, who's in the sale on Tuesday. I'm going to qualify Miss Meringue. I'd like to see her a little stronger. Now, it rained this morning at Northfield. The next time it's supposed to be wet, there's a chance of rain at 4 o'clock. Just a chance. So 40% too, so not a lot. So I have to rush back. I want to qualify Miss Meringue, qualify Hope Surprise, and school Stonebridge Dolce. So not what you would call the meaty part of the order at the stable, but nevertheless, I want to get it done. I want to make sure it gets done. So that's the plan for today. I have no idea what this filly will be like in the mud, in a new place, but we're going to find out very, very soon. I wanted to also talk, had some comments still about the partnership, which is pretty well sold out. I say pretty well because we have a couple of clients that wanted 10 lots, which was a lot of lots, but said if they had to take a little bit less, they would. So there are a couple of shares remaining. I suspect a couple of lots, but for the most part, completely sold out on that front, which is encouraging. I understand the trepidation from some of the people that maybe don't have $2,500 US kicking around or not comfortable putting that money in, and you shouldn't. You shouldn't do that. And keep in mind, for the people out there that are concerned that they're going to get shut out or locked out, all we're doing is transferring real ownership of these horses from the stable.ca onto the private market. That's not to say that they're going to sell for a ton more money or people are going to wait and gouge everyone. I suspect by the time you're done that 72-hour window where every horse still has 25% left for 72 hours. 72 hours after that window closes, all the remaining shares of all the horses we bought are on the public market for everyone, both clients and potential clients. Now I was going to make it a 10-day window for the partnership clients to sell their shares. Now that being because I don't want you selling yours before I get to sell mine. The whole point of all this is to keep a fluid motion of revenue coming in, where I don't have to be on the hook for the 25 shares of all those horses. Because quite frankly, I don't have 25% of 250,000 US. Literally. So, we're going to lock it for 14 days because simply math. 17th of the month, 14 days is the last day of the month or first day of the next month. And accounting wise for Wendy, 14 days makes it easier. So the way it will work is simple. 75 lots have been sold. So 75% of every horse we purchase at the Ohio Select sale is sold. 25% of every horse purchased at that sale, the remaining 25% will be locked for 3 days. And I had to give an incentive for people to buy in early. It just had to be done. I didn't want to do it in a negative way, so I did it in a positive way. It said, simply put, for 72 hours, all the remaining shares of the horses will be up for sale for the people that have those partnerships. When that is done, at 72 hours after the Ohio Select sale, every remaining share will be up for sale for everyone. Not to mention, for the people out there that like trotting fillies, you are going to have in that lot, you are going to have some trotting colts, some pacing colts maybe the odd pacing filly. And they may just say, I don't want those, I'm going to put them up for sale. It will make a very aggressive, fluid market for all of our clients and take me off the hook. And really that is what it's about. I think after 5 years of working my butt off, hustling, cobbling together, and I keep using that word because it was rough. There was no line of credit set up for the stable.ca. That was me working my butt off to make sure that we had the revenue to buy those horses in any way I could. I didn't rob a bank or mug old ladies, but at the same time, it was not put together cleanly. I cobbled together all those revenue streams over the last 5 years to buy these horses for you. And for the people out there saying, well, Anthony, I should just be able to buy what I want when I want. That's great. But to do that, please understand, put yourself in my shoes. For you to buy 1% of a $25,000 horse, I had to buy that $25,000 horse. That's the reality of it. All I'm looking to do is make it a fair and equitable relationship for everybody, where we can all look and say, okay, we bought the horses. If I want to sell my shares in the Trot and Colts or the Pace and Fillies, I will. I'll buy those shares off Anthony in a lot format. You're helping me too. I'm not oblivious to the reality that our clients are helping me run the stable. But I had to work very hard to get to this point. I think I've earned everybody's trust and clearly some people's respect when it comes to how we operate in both purchasing, locating, purchasing, developing, and racing horses. Most definitely here in this state of Ohio. Actually, I think I just crossed into Pennsylvania, but back there in that state of Ohio. So it's important that everybody understand that. For those of you out there may be a little frustrated that you don't get to get in right away because you didn't buy a lot. Part of me is sorry, but at the same time, I have to be able to run the stable in a manner that is not chaotic. We need to move to a proper model, and to get to that, I had to work my butt off for 5 years, and I'll continue to work my butt off. But I need to work my butt off in the right places. My butt's not big enough to be run all over the place all the time. So that's how the partnership is working out. That's how it's going to work out. The finer points and the smaller details will be ironed out before the first of the month. And for those of you who maybe couldn't get in right now, relax. You are going to get in. There'll be shares available of whatever horses you want. I'm certain of it. For those of you who did buy into the partnership, thank you. I appreciate your confidence in what we do. For those of you who bought a lot of lots, man, I don't know what to say. I appreciate it. Now, we have a sale going on this week. And here's an important thing also. I do have about 7 or 8 horses in this sale. And for those of you out there, I had somebody say the other day, well, don't even go to that sale. It's just a bunch of garbage sold there. Okay. I don't think my Jazz is garbage. I'm not sure we bought her. You never know where you're going to get an okay horse. Make no mistake. You never know where you're going to get an okay horse. So we have 3 horses selling. Now, it's worth mentioning also, these horses are not under the partnership. These horses will be up for sale immediately as soon as we buy them. I know Jason and Lauren didn't like what I said. I said, and they will be broke on Wednesday at Northfield Park. In case you're wondering, we can maybe get some video of that for you guys. Of the horses being broke. I suspect we'll probably buy 2 or 3 out of this sale. There'll be no shortage of Ohio breds in 2022. I can assure you of that 100%. So we'll probably buy a few horses out of the mixed sale. There's 171 of them selling. Now, a lot of them, I don't know why, I do know why, are Indiana bred. So what happens is you have a lot of Amish people that breed these horses. Good and bad. The horses, I mean. And what they'll do is, it costs a lot of money to get in the select sale, not to mention the select sale is exactly what it says it is. These horses have to be selected and okayed to go in the sale. Ohio doesn't want a 2-day sale. Last time they did that, they got annihilated. So the breeders in Ohio are very sheepish about a 2-day Ohio sale, although at some point in the future they're going to have to go back to that format. And then Indiana, again, same thing. It's a select sale. They would just rather sell their horses in a small sale with less fees. And that's why a lot of them end up here. Those 2 reasons. I don't know if you can see the rain. I'm virtually almost throwing up in my mouth watching this happen as I go to drive Tanzanite tricks. My God. So, the 171 horses, I looked at all the videos that are available and all the pedigrees that are available. I did see some horses I liked. A couple that really piqued my interest. Now, I'll be honest, a couple of the ones that are on my piqued my interest list are flyers. One of them is by a sire I have never heard of on the racetrack or in the breeding shed. He's an Ohio sire. I'm sure for those of you that have been looking through the catalog, you may have an idea of who I'm talking about, or maybe you don't. But there are some horses we're looking at. We are selling You Gotta Believe. He's a nice horse, but he's just a horse. I mean, he's going to make somebody, he's going to do somebody some good, but it's not going to be us, really. He's not a Buckeye horse. He's a fair horse. Very close to being there, but I'm not giving him away either. If you're going there thinking that he's going to go for $5,000, I'll be the one signing the ticket. You know, I don't think we can sell a horse like You Gotta Believe for less than $8,000, $9,000, $10,000. Just can't. Hope's your prize. That could be your horse. See, he's not coming home with us. He's just not good enough. Wants to be okay and could be an okay horse, and he's a stronger horse than You Gotta Believe than a number of other ones. But Pennsylvania, there's not much I can do about this. The Stallion Series is tough. Overnights are tough. So Hope's your prize is on its way out. What's the other one? Oh, Luck of the Dragon. Don't even start me on Luck of the Dragon. New rule. You don't want to try, you can't stay. Simple as that. And that goes for trotters, pacers, fillies, colts, geldings, all of them. Luck of the Dragon has been given every opportunity to be an okay horse, and his lines are okay. The horse pays 57. I think he win in 2-1 or 2-2 in a fair. But the will, desire, and drive to come forward is not there. It just isn't. And I'm not waiting to see if he's going to mature his way out of it. I had a wonderful conversation with one of our clients, Heather, last night. She wanted to talk about some of the sophomores I had mentioned about being up for sale. And I wanted to alleviate her concerns of what I said and why I said it. But first and foremost, I had told her, we need to learn from the past. As a group, we've all been together long enough. We've seen what works, what doesn't work. We need to stay away from the doesn't work section of horse racing. Now, it's been unfair this year. We had to spend that money, which wasn't fair. Her class just wasn't filling. So what we need to look at is what horses we have and what classes they will fit, and down the road, what is available for them. And if those paths start thinning out, so where you're left with a horse that doesn't fit that class, that class, that class, that class anymore, now you're left with one or two paths forward, that's a horse we're probably going to look at selling. You know, when I mentioned First Glance the other day, I don't have a problem with First Glance, and as I said to Heather, the least of my worries in the stable.ca is a horse like First Glance. He has raced his butt off all year, he's tried, he's done well for everyone. The problem with First Glance is he's not a grassroots horse. That is not his fault. That is a travesty, but it is what it is. He is not a grassroots horse, and eventually he's going to run into some overnight hurdles. So what is a horse like First Glance worth? And that changes. The more money and wins he makes, the less he's actually worth on the open market. It sounds ridiculous, but that's the reality. I had another client, Cameron, message me and say, Brilliant Corners just look so good. Why did we have to have him playing? A great question. A great question. But again, very similar to First Glance. Can't do in the grassroots. The overnight classes can get quite difficult. And before we lose those paths, we have to look, can he race in Ohio? And these are fair questions. Is there a class in Ohio, Pennsylvania, Indiana, New York, New Jersey, anywhere for these horses to do well? There may be. But if I can't answer yes to that question, if we see First Glance make 40 or 50,000, take a good mark, but he just can't do it Mohawk, is he going to be able to make money at London on a consistent level? Where else raced in Flamborough in the winter? London and Flamborough. Can these horses race at a consistent level at these tracks? If I can't tell you we have a path forward, consistent path forward for our horses to race, whether we rest them and bring them back at 4 or race them right into the first part of the 4-year-old season, if we don't have a consistent path that we're confident that they can do well in, then we have to explore sales. That's just it. And we know, going back to what I just said, what works and what does not work. We know hoping and praying that they can do does not work. It doesn't. We need to have those paths. There needs to be a way moving forward. There needs to be continuity and fluidity to move those horses around, and if there isn't, they can't stay. And that is not me being upset at first glance. For the love of God, how could you ever be upset with the horse? He's done everything we've asked him to do all year, tried his heart out. That is not me saying, oh, we got to get rid of him. I wish I could keep all of them, especially horses that try like him. Another horse, One My Heart Hanover. I love One My Heart Hanover. She's turned into a beautiful, sweet filly to race. Love the filly. But again, I don't want to go over that cliff where I was wrong. She's not a condition horse. We have no more classes for her. Now she's a $10,000 claimant. I don't want to get to that level, especially when I know we sold a horse like That's My Girl for a lot more money than that. I really believe One My Heart Hanover is a much better horse than That's My Girl. She might have made a break and beat her the other day, but That's My Girl was terrible. I'm going to turn her out for a month, freshen her up, and bring her back. But again, a horse that may be sold. And when I'm thinking bigger picture, the biggest picture. Okay, that's a big truck. Where are you going? I'm going over here. Thank you. When I look at the biggest picture of all, Harrisburg's right around the same time we're going to sell a lot of those horses. If some of the revenue from our sophomores can help mitigate the cost of Harrisburg, another thing we haven't done in the past. Whether that's sell them. And I had a great conversation with Johnny the other day, and I told you this about where we sell them. Now, I believe a horse like Jazzy Judy, right before her biggest stake race of her life, the last one of her life, Harrisburg's right before it. Big open crowd, filly going back to Delaware, lots of people from Delaware at that sale. That may be the place to sell Jazzy Judy, but to sell a horse like One My Heart Hanover at first glance, they may not need to go to Harrisburg. There is significant uptick in people looking at on gate. So, again, there may be a combination of ways to move them. That may, and as I said, bigger picture, that may help mitigate some of the Harrisburg sale. We always have to be looking forward, right? I'm not saying at 3 we get rid of them. No, not at all. We'll keep them till they're 5 or 6 if we have a place to race them. But again, it all comes down to those thin lines. Whether they can do in open company, I don't mean the open at the track, I mean once they get out of the non-winners of 3, you get up into open company. Non-winners of 4 may or may not fill, it might be combined at some tracks. Non-winners of 4 might go in 51 at Mohawk. I would call that open competition. If they can't do on that open competition, that open market, so to speak, then we have to explore sales. Before you put 4 or 5 bad lines on them and then all of a sudden nobody wants them. You've proven they can't do what they would buy them to do. So there has to be that very, very thin but surgical line as we move forward with all of our sophomores. So for Heather, for anybody else out there that was wondering why I would possibly talk about selling First Glance or One My Heart Hanover or I'm a Lovely Lady or Mama Knows Best or any one of those 3-year-olds, it just simply has to do with paths forward, classes to race in, and whether they can graduate in a consistent, confident way. If we're getting in, you saw how Path of Totality got destroyed the other day at Scioto. Can't do in that class. She'll never race at Scioto again. She has to go back to the Meadows. Now, a little bit different. I know there's a lot of people who want to go down this rabbit hole again. Well, why don't we breed all the mares? No. I told everybody we're breeding Path of Totality. 1, she's well bred. 2, a lot of those Walners cross well with the Donato Hanover mares. You see that in New Jersey. So we have a very viable way forward for her. She's got a good mark, got some money. I'd like to get her to $100,000. Not going to do it at Scioto, I can tell you that. In earnings. So we're trying to look at every possible way forward for all of our horses. But sales is and will continue to be one of them. It has to be. Just please take a step back, look at the big picture of the stable, what's worked in the past and what has not worked in the past. That will be our driving force first and foremost moving forward. You know, this is a midweek video, I guess, so I'll ramble on a little bit more. You know, I had a wonderful conversation with somebody this morning. One of our former clients, Les, had got out for whatever reason. I can't even remember now. It was 2-3 years ago. and got out of the stable, and just, it wasn't for him at the time. It isn't for some people. He called and said he wanted to get involved with the Ohio Partnership Program, the Purchasing Partnership Program, and explained what he'd been up to the last little while. It was nice to run into him at a fair a few weeks ago. He said, geez, you've had such a great run all year. And I told him, I said, I'm not going to, pat myself in the back because we had a good year. A lot went into it. I'm just very, very, very humbled and blessed to have the year we've had. I posted on Facebook the other day about not many people can say they had the best years of their life. In 2021, through such a horrible time on planet Earth, I can. We were lucky enough to leave Ontario when the lockdown occurred. We got to explore all over Ohio and live normally when lots of our friends and family couldn't. And then the horses. Cruising in Style was a good 2-year-old. He didn't go 4 for 4. Bomb Hugger's been just a breath of fresh air, to say the least, especially for our New York clients, because we don't buy a lot of New York horses. Taiwan On went from, I don't even know if she's okay or not, I have no idea, to, this is a sire stake filly. She might have been third the other day. This is a filly that was, I need to say this again, this is a filly that scoped sick in Philadelphia, shipped 6.5 hours home in the heat, was not really healthy, couldn't train her up real good, had to rush to get her healthy, shipped her another 6.5 hours to the Poconos for 3rd and 55 and raced huge. A good filly. I said to somebody, they're like, well, if you're looking for the consolation, you're close. You're tied for 9th right now. The finals at the Poconos, you'll probably have 9 on the gate. So she's in right now. I said, are you looking for the final? I don't think she's even in the top 3 or 4 or 5 best fillies in Ohio. You give her the right trip, the right post, a little bit of luck. Look out. Very similar to even Lawmaker's 2-year-old year. I think he was like 5-6-1 in the final, maybe something like that. White Tiger, same thing. They were both feet and nose, going for what, $250,000, $300,000. Taiwan On's a serious contender. Amor Diener, he's going to make the Stallion Series final, I believe. Now he's a little pissed. I couldn't come and train him this morning. Obviously, it's a monsoon. Like, I'm literally, I'm an hour from the meadows, and it's a monsoon right now. Tim said the rain's letting up. The damage is done. I couldn't have trained this morning, so Tim was going to train him tomorrow morning. I couldn't. I got to fly to drive Bomb Hugger tomorrow. So Tim's going to train him up. Even worse, I can't drive him on Sunday. I thought for sure I'm going to drive that horse and sharpen him up Wednesday to make sure this guy's on his toes for Sunday night. Okay, or you're not, because you have to drive Sweet on Pete in the sire stakes. You have 4 horses in the fair Sunday afternoon. You have to rush back to Northfield to drive Yes and Sweet on Pete Sunday night. You have no time. Even you can't fly to the Poconos in between. You can't do that. You can't drive him. But he's probably going to race good, and we're going to have him in the Stallion Series final, I suspect. It's been a good year for him. Who else we got? For New Jersey, we didn't race anything in New Jersey. But one of the most anticipated qualifiers of the year is going to take place on Tuesday. This is the first time I'm even mentioning it. 3 Point Blue Chip is going to qualify Tuesday at Mohawk Raceway. James schooled him in 2 minutes on Tuesday. Said he looks good. Now, not, oh my God, we got to get him in the Wellwood. And we're not, unless he can do. I'll be completely honest. I pushed and pushed and pushed. And I appreciate it. Thank you very much, the owners and partners of 3 Point Blue Chip, not pushing to have him qualify race. Just want to get him to be the best horse he can be. Mentally, not quite there yet. He's getting there, though. Last thing you want to do is beat the guts out of him, and that will sour him up pretty quick. So James is a perfect fit for him. He's going to qualify him, probably race him in a maiden. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not really that interested in the Wellwood unless he's ready to trot in 54, which he's not right now. But we do have paid into the Valley Victory in November. I can tell you that. So if he gets incrementally better, we do have a shot. Maybe racing him in something. I'm not taking him to Freehold. That's ridiculous. Not doing that. We'll see. Maybe he's just okay right now. I don't know. But he seems He won both his schoolers at the Meadows, and Mike Wilder went with him both times, said he really liked him. But it's hard to say. Really like is, yeah, he's a nice horse. And then there's really like, man, this thing's a killer. I don't know which really like it was. And I doubt you're going to convince anybody to tell you which really like it was. So for now, Mike Wilder liked him. James liked him. I like him. He's going to qualify Tuesday at Mohawk. And he's our New Jersey vet for later on in the year. Maybe. Duke Dio's probably going to make that stake race at Freehold. I love what I see there. I told you guys twice in our last 2 videos. Keep your eye on this guy. And then Blue Bayou Dio and Bomb Hugger. Actually, she was born in New Jersey. She is going to probably finish out her year at Freehold. Somebody said, well, after Yonkers in the final, why don't you just stop with her? Okay. Let's just take a trip down memory lane here. You get all you can get when you can get it. My Jazz had a great year. She's got 2,000, 3,000 on her card this year. Anything can happen. These are racehorses. And I'm not saying go to the well and make sure you get every nickel and dime and ounce of speed out of her. No. But a race at Freehold on a half-mile track for a filly like her that's racing on a half and has raced great all year on a half, that goes for 70,000 according to what I've been told. Yeah, I could see her going there. She'll finish out her year there. So will Blue Bayou Deal. This is a filly that has caught my attention in a big way. She was not good the other day. Not good. If the horse that raced 2 weeks ago in her body showed up on last Sunday, she wins the length of this Pennsylvania Turnpike. They don't beat her. She was bad and still raced good. I think quite highly of Blue Bayou Dio. Now, Garden State Dio is also eligible. I don't think we're going to race her there. This is a filly that's just a big filly. You know, she qualified great at Northfield. I'm kind of kicking myself still about sending her to the Meadowlands, but that happens. I'll still stand by. The reasoning I sent her. Still think it was a sound, a sound plan. One that was predicated by the way she qualified. Yeah, I just would have no argument not to send her. So, I would suspect Garden State Dio. A lot of people asking how her blood come back. It's exactly what we thought. She tied up, old tie up. So I suspect she tied up when I trained her in the rain. Nobody noticed. And it was just too much for her to function in Lexington. Can John Boonchain get that blood under control by Monday? I don't know. And I told him, if you are not confident she is good, do not enter her for Monday. And if it's really bad, I would have just pulled the shoes off her and turned her out in Kentucky for the rest of the year. This is a filly I think we all know has got speed and will probably be a good 3-year-old. Indiana, massive profit. Although we had hopes that he would be a killer in Indiana. He's just a horse so far. He's taken a mark at 58. He's done well. He's 20-1, going for 20,000 or 12-1 or something on Wednesday. That's today. He's racing tonight. We'll see how he races, but I'd like to see him finish off the year a little bit better. This was a horse that actually was a little mentally immature. Reminded me a lot of 3 Point Blue Chip. A little bit ahead of 3 Point, but mentally still, they both were like, it's pretty cool. They race, and we're just going to go around. I think when he gets that grit to him, a little dirt in him, I think you'll see him be a much better 3-year-old. If he can put together some money, and he's already won a race, so he's got a 2-year-old mark. Let's see how he ends out the rest of his 2-year-old campaign. And then, obviously, the bulk of our power is here in Ohio. We turned out Isa 10, who I think is going to be a good 3-year-old. Hill of Magic was starting to show some life when she fractured her coffin bone. She'll be back as a 3-year-old. But what about Slim Jimmy? He's one of the best colts in the state. Sweet on Pete, I think she's one of the best fillies in the state. Top 5. She needs to win her a second to get in the final of the Sire Stakes. Jimmy, I think, has already punched his ticket to the final. And then don't forget the other 3 that'll race or 2 of them will race in the Consolation and the Buckeye final, hopefully, in Purple Aura and Uptown. And then 1-2 Skip a Few is also in the mix for the Buckeye final and for the Fair final. We've had an incredible year in Ohio, an incredible year across the board. I couldn't be more pleased and proud and happy and humbled with everything that has gone on. But man, oh man, just super happy across the board. Now, one last point. Obviously, if you guys have been paying attention in Ohio, there is an issue in Scioto. So, Scioto has always threatened to build a nicer grandstand and just update their facility. And a lot of people are going to say it's irresponsible, neglectful, lazy. Maybe they have bigger plans and it just didn't come to fruition yet. I have no idea. But what had happened was the right side of the grandstand where the dining room is, if you're looking out at the track, the right side, it's okay. I was in there last week. I met with a client. I was in there last week. It's a little old and maybe outdated, but it's okay. The left side is almost condemned, right? They have tarps up. It looks like a reno. They have tarps up, but that's where the judges stand and the announcer's booth is. The city came in and said, you can't have people in this. No, it's not going to happen. They'd cancel the races. Wouldn't let the judges win the judges' stand. And I don't know how they're going to fix that. I don't know what they're going to do. They said at noon. That's right now almost. At noon, they're going to update everybody. There's races and stake races there. Friday. Saturday. We're racing there. So I don't know what they're going to do. I hope it's a makeshift fix of we're putting up a stand for the judges and a stand for the announcer or whatever. It's not going to be pretty and they're going to get made fun of. But hopefully they can get back to racing, and then, when they finish racing in, I don't know, a few weeks, a month, I don't know when they finish, then they can get to work on erecting a proper grandstand for a beautiful place. So that's what I hope will happen. It's unfortunate, it's embarrassing for them, I'm sure, but it is what it is. So we'll be updated. I don't think I'll update you guys. It's not the end of the world. I just want to update you on what happened. My God, it's raining. Come on! Just wanted to update you guys on what is happening in regards to Scioto. It was canceled last night because they literally, for lack of a better word, they condemned the left side of the grandstand. Sounds terrible because it is. But hopefully they can have a makeshift fix for the rest of the season. So, just to update you guys, a midweek video. I haven't done one in a while because I do so many of them. Just want to update you guys on what's going on, what's taking place, what's transpiring at the stable, in the sales. There is a sale on Monday. We are selling 3 horses, and you know what? I might buy a couple of yearlings out of that sale, and we'll see what we get. So that is it. That is it for your video. I am almost... No, I'm not almost there. I'm 50 minutes away from the Meadows. It is a rainy, crappy day, but that's how much I like Tanzanite Tricks, in case you're wondering. I wanted to come here and race her. I think a lot of this filly, she's not in easy, she's in tough. It is raining, it is going to be muddy, and then I have to rush all the way back to Northfield Park for qualifiers, but that's the job. We'll talk to you soon. Hope you're having a good week. Take care.